Okay, I'm going to share a little something that I've written here. We must begin to see the truth between the lies that control our freedoms. Who are we now? In the fog of identity plays, where blood is measured, when who you pray to justifies killing of all others. Who are we now? Where the need of devices rules our humanity, where wealth is defined by the masses you control. Who are we now? When the innocence is preyed upon for someone's glory. How do we breathe still? We, the voices of many, we, feet on earth beating, we, hips moving in geometric patterns, sacred. How do we breathe still? Is holding you in my heart enough? Is burning, destroying, and marching in rage enough? Is the death of one better than the other? Who are we now in this moment, in this beat of this moment, in this heart bleeding? How do we stop the madness, the chaos that called for the raised fist in the air, the bent knee in protest of the songs? How do we stop the distractions that keep us from seeing the little babies crying with broken limbs and dismembered souls flying? The dry earth dying from greed and lust for power, and the whimpers from foodless nights when harmony could restore life. How do we stop the distractions that keep us from seeing the oppressed bodies and voices of women feared because of their given magic, their gifts, held hostage because bleeding is a cycle, not a death sentence? Must we compete? All the disruptions of equality across the globe, must we say this one is under the boot more than the other? When did this become a competition of who hurts more? Isn't it enough to know someone is hurting from the gavel of appointed injustices and another from the guns of control? We, divided by drops of blood, shades of color, the way we pray, the labels we wear, the address we reside, the legacies of our yesterday speaking loudly now. We must remember who we are. Before the origins of controls we relinquished, without knowing the toll would be growing still, costing us generations of possibilities for change. So this is not a moment to forget this sordid journey, and this is not a moment of waiting for someone, anyone but me, to lead the way to our collective memory so we can wake up from this never-ending story of surprise, betrayal, and disregard. No, this is not the time to say same old story from yesterday, so I'll just step inside because this too will pass. This is a time to govern ourselves into action. To remember to not hide and disappear because it's too much to see to know. This is not the time to silence ourselves, hold ourselves hostage. This is a time to be in our voices, in our actions, in our oneness. Because to see beyond the divides liquefies the boundaries of illusion meant to hold us, captivated, silent, and unmoving. Like the pebble that hits the pond and is still resonating, or the butterfly that fluttered its wings and changed the air. We must choose to act. These actions, intentful, small actions of oneness, can in fact change the world. We must first remember who we are before the controls, divisions, fissures, disruptions of oneness, meant to remove our ability to be the pebble, the wings of change. We must first remember who we are now. Remember who we are.